this message is just for you. You are good enough. This is the episode for you. Today I have a message for everyone who is telling themselves that they're too old to learn their language. Or for everyone who is learning a language but are telling themselves that it would just be so much easier if only they'd started sooner. Because so many people in the world are telling themselves right now that learning a language is like becoming a professional ballerina. That you have to start super young or not at all. And the age that people start thinking that they're too old to learn a language is so young. When I was teaching in British secondary schools, so 11 to 18, I had students of 11, 12, 13 years of age telling me seriously that they were already far too old for this. And it's one thing to give ourselves reasons that postpone it a bit, to tell ourselves that now isn't the best time to start. You know, things are really hectic at the moment, so maybe I'll start learning the language next year when things have calmed down a bit. Or we're heading up to Christmas now, so maybe I'll wait till January when I've got more time and more things are on sale. We all do it. But there's something really nefarious about telling ourselves that we're too old. Because there's not much coming back from there, is there? When we're telling ourselves we're too old, we're closing that door, never to be opened again. But the thing is, it's really not true. You are not too old, and it isn't too late. You are the youngest now that you will ever be. And okay, maybe your memory and stamina might not be as good as they were when you were 18. You might have lost your confidence with studying and academia if you're several decades out of school. You might have family or caring responsibilities now that take up a lot more of your time and energy than before. And you might not want to engage with certain technology that the generation below you is lauding as the future of language learning. But guess what? You really don't have to. You can still learn this language. You can go at your own pace, you can let your curiosity guide you, and you can make and do things one step at a time in your new language. Never forget that every age brings something different to language learning. So yeah, I'm sure it would have been amazing if you'd learned that language from toddlerhood. But you didn't, and it is not a disaster. Because you've spent all that extra time building a unique combination of skills and strengths and interesting experiences and world knowledge to anchor that learning to. And more importantly, you have so much more self-knowledge, your personality, your life, the way your brain works, what drives you. All of that will be so useful on this journey. So look at everything you've done, all the things you're interested in, all the experiences that you've gained, no matter how random they seem, and ask yourself, what if now is the perfect time? How could all of these things be useful? And if you want a practical thing to help you out with this, I strongly recommend seeking out language learners that are older than you are to talk to. Because I spend a lot of time on language exchange apps, and one of the things that I've noticed is that so many people in my age bracket, so 20s and 30s, set their language exchange profile from about the same age as they are to 5 to 10 years up. And while I get that there are some advantages to speaking to people at the same stage of life as you, widening the age range upwards can help both of you. Because the broader the range of conversation topics, the better. It'll be good for both of you, and it will show you what's possible. And while you're at it, look at what else is possible outside the language sphere. Find stories of people who have career changed older than you are now. Find the people who've moved abroad a decade older than you, or started their own business 2 decades older than you. Find the people who got their first tattoo or started bodybuilding in retirement. Because the thing with language learning is, it's easy to get into that mindset where you're looking back at your life and then retrospectively marking out a time that you think would have been optimal to start learning your language. But it's really not the case that you have to get that magic window, the optimal age, the optimal circumstances, or it's not worth starting at all. And more than that, in a couple of years' time from now, you might still want to learn this language, and you might look back at exactly where you are now and wish so much that present you had just taken the plunge. Language learners, you have as much right to learn your language as ever. You can make so much impact in your language. You can learn this language, and the world still needs your voice. So go and get started, and I will see you back here tomorrow.